And here is the Writer's Almanac for Monday, the 12th of October, 2020. The first Oktoberfest in Munich had its origins on this date, 1810, the royal wedding, Ludwig, Crown Prince of Bavaria, marrying Princess Therese of Saxony. They wanted to invite all of Munich to the reception, so they threw a parade and a big party in the field outside the city gates. On the first anniversary, they added an agricultural fair and horse races, and then over the years other attractions were added. A carousel was brought in 1818, and then a few modest beer stands, but by the end of the century, the little beer stands had been replaced by huge beer tents sponsored by German breweries. It was on this day in 539 BC, Cyrus the Great led his Persian army into Babylon and defeated the Babylonians and became the ruler of a region that now includes Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Israel. It was on this day, 1823, the Scottish chemist Charles Macintosh sold the first raincoat. He'd been trying to find some use for the coal tar naphtha, which was a byproduct of the gasworks, and discovered that the naphtha would dissolve India rubber, bonding melted rubber to wool and creating a waterproof fabric, from which he made the first raincoats. They smelled bad, they got stiff in cold weather, but they were very popular, and Macintosh raincoats are still made today. It's the birthday of the poet and translator Robert Fitzgerald, 1910, born Springfield, Illinois, best known for his English translations of Homer's The Odyssey and the Iliad, still held as the standard works for scholars and students. He went to Harvard. He read Eliot's The Wasteland, which he said changed his life. Later, Fitzgerald met Eliot in London, and he got up the courage to give Eliot one of his own poems. Eliot read it for several minutes, and then he looked up and he said, "Is this the best you can do?" Fitzgerald served in the Navy during World War II, and then after the war took his family to Italy, where he began to translate the Odyssey. Here's a poem by Stephen Dunn entitled Sweetness. Just when it has seemed I couldn't bear one more friend waking with a tumor, one more maniac with a perfect reason, often a sweetness has come and changed nothing in the world except the way I stumbled through it, for a while lost in the ignorance of loving someone or something. The world shrunk to mouth size, hand size, and never seeming small. I acknowledge there is no sweetness that doesn't leave a stain, no sweetness that's ever sufficiently sweet. Tonight, a friend called to say his lover was killed in a car he was driving. His voice was low and guttural. He repeated what he needed to repeat, and I repeated the one or two words we have for such grief, until we were speaking only in tones. Often a sweetness comes, as if on loan, stays just long enough to make sense of what it means to be alive, then returns to its dark source. As for me, I don't care where it's been or what bitter road it's traveled to come so far, to taste so good. Sweetness, a poem by Stephen Dunn from his new and selected poems published by Norton and used by permission here on The Writer's Almanac. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.
Pre-order your copy of Garrison Keillor's long-awaited witty and insightful memoir, That Time of Year, A Minnesota Life, at GarrisonKeillor.com.